Hi, my name is James Catherall, founder of Catherall Audio. Now, it's been a little over 2 weeks since the 2024 drum corps season ended. Usually around this time, people start putting out their videos talking about the top shows, drum breaks, brass solos, or other things like that. I want to add my own contribution to this space and talk about the top 5 audio moments from the 2024 drum corps season. These will be moments that would not be possible without the use of amplification or some type of electronics. I'll be shouting out the audio teams behind these creations for each group in the top 5. So, let's get into it. At number 5 is the Phantom Regiment Euphonium and Trombone Duet. In the middle portion of the show, they had an awesome duet from these two phenomenal players that were absolutely shredding notes and playing with huge sound. Now, that by itself was great, but wouldn't be enough to get a spot on this list, since a lot of corps have awesome sounding brass solos. What really put this moment into the next level for me was the processing that they added in the middle. I think it was some type of phaser effect, which is what gives it that interesting characteristic and the subtle pitch bending up and down that the phaser is known for. The extra detail that's really the chef's kiss is that they only added it for part of the solo, so we could hear the beautiful quality of sound these players were producing naturally, and then they gave it a little extra spice and flavor. The percussion designers were Matt Penlin and Tyler Sammons, the sound designer was John Kammerer, and the audio lead was Ruben Rodriguez. Number 4 is the Trooper's guitar solo. The amount of power and grit that the guitar solo displayed was the perfect embodiment for their devil character. He showed off some real technical prowess and was regularly bringing the house down with his performance energy throughout the summer. It was raw and in your face and created a really memorable moment for the season. The percussion designers were Paul Rennick and Sandy Rennick. The sound designer was Justin Shelton and the audio lead was Bino Morris. Number 3 is the Bluecoats opening brass hits.
The Bluecoats!
The sound design completely transformed this moment. They carefully crafted a reverb that filled out that space in a beautiful way. I love the way that they implement the amplification and sound design in a way that allows it to be its own voice in the show, rather than something that's tacked on afterward or just used in a supportive role to everything else that's happening. This moment would not have hit the same way without the audio elements they utilized here. And just for fun, I edited the audio so we can take a listen to how it would have been without the added reverb.
The Bluecoats!
Now come on, obviously nowhere near as cool without it. That reverb is really what makes the idea work. The percussion designer is Tom Rarick, sound designer is Matt Jordan, and Aaron Beck is the audio lead. Number 2 is the Boston Crusaders turntable. This is one of those things that's so cool and makes me wonder how no one thought to add this in before. Electronic instruments were allowed starting in 2009. Turntables have been around for many decades before that, and as far as I know, this is the first live usage of one in a drum corps show. It's not very often that we get to see the introduction of a brand new electronic instrument to the marching arts. It was such a cool element, and similar to the Troopers show, it was a great embodiment of their concept glitch. They were able to use it in a way that sounded like the audio was glitching. Like the moment they had where they were glitching between radio stations or TV stations, and the turntable created a sound that worked perfectly. It was also awesome watching the performer behind the turntable during the show. They added a great energy that was really fun to watch. The percussion designers were Colin McNutt and Ian Moyer, the sound designer was Michael Zellers, and the audio lead was Kenneth Watts. And finally, at number 1 is once again the Bluecoats. I feel like it's probably not a surprise to most people that they ended up on this list twice. They've been on the forefront of electronics in this activity for over a decade. The top audio moment of the season for me was the mic'd flag feature. This was an ingenious idea that seems so simple in its concept. It's just field mics picking up the flags. But the execution was amazing. They added some processing on it as well as panning, so when the flag tosses happened in sequence from left to right, you could hear the audio moving as well. They also used a special material on the flags so they would make a louder noise than usual, and staged them up close to the front sideline to make the pickup from the mics as strong as possible. The funny part is the flag noises are typically something the audio engineers and drill designers work hard to avoid being picked up by field mics. They really like to sneak their way in when we're trying to pick up brass moments or other things like that. And for this, they decided to go the complete opposite direction and make it a whole moment by itself. This hands down was my favorite audio moment and one of my favorite moments period of the whole season, and I loved it from the instant I saw it. The audio team once again includes the percussion designer Tom Rarick, sound designer Matt Jordan, and Aaron Beck as the audio lead. So that's my audio top 5 for the 2024 DCI season. What do you guys think? Did I miss any moments? Let me know down in the comments what your top audio moments of the season were. And as always, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to press that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.